Welcome to the 2015 Night of Interp, put on by the Hunter Forensics team.
We are very excited to give you all a glimpse of interpretation as it pertains to the world of forensics.
I mean, you have your extemporaneous speaking, you have your debating, you have your original oratory, but a lot of times when we tell people what forensics is, the first thing they say to us is, what the heck is forensics?
Well, in terms of interpretation, you have poetry interpretation,
Dramatic interpretation,
humorous interpretation,
and of course,
duo interpretation. Now, tonight you're going to see a lot of amazing interpretation pieces.
first off is a poetry piece from our very own Kyler Salazar, written by Robert Service.
It concerns one man and the strange circumstance around his friend's last wish.
This is a cremation of Sam McGee. Audience ready?
There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that can make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see, it was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge. I cremated Sam McGee. This piece tells a tale of life and death on the Arctic trails of Alaska, and it stresses the ideal of keeping your word, because a promise made is a debt unpaid. The Cremation of Sam McGee by Robert W. Service. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam around the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but that land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell. And he'd often say, in his homely way, how he'd sooner live in hell. On a Christmas day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold. Through the parka's fold, it stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes we'd close, then the lashes froze, till sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed, and the stars o'erhead were dancing heel and toe, well, he turned to me, and, "Cap," says he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request." Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. Then he says, with a sort of moan, "It's the cursed cold, and it's got right hold, till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet, 'tain't being dead. It's my awful dread of an icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear, foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." A pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore I would not fail. And we started on with a streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched in his sleigh, and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There was not a breath in that land of death as I hurried, horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true. Now it's up to you to cremate those last remains." A promise made. It's a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were numb, in my heart how I cursed that load. In the long, long night, by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring, they howled out their woes to the homeless snows. Oh God, how I loathed the thing. And every day, that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow, and on I went, though the dogs were spent, and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake Labarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and I thought of it. Then I looked to my frozen chum. And here, said I, with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The flames just soared, and the furnace roared. Such a blaze you seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. I made for a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the huskies howled, and the heavens scowled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, yet a hot sweat rolled down my cheek, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke, in an inky cloak, and streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out, and they danced about, ere again I'd venture near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peek inside. I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked, and the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm, in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile you could see a mile, and he said, please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plumtree, down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that will make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see. It was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge. I cremated Sam McGee.
Bob climbs steeples. Bob climbs steeples, the great gabled high ones. Bob climbs right up them, and sometimes inside them. People think he does it to paint. That's his job. But Bob said, I do it to get close to God. Of course, if God answered, or sent me a tweet, I'd fall off the steeple and hit the concrete. All too often in life, we forget to think about, or sometimes even consider, life for other people. In this collection of poems, we'll look at life through someone else's eyes. Folks Next Door Collection by Ken Bradbury. You just don't understand. You just don't understand, she thinks, as she shuffles her way down the aisle. And she's right, we don't. We don't have the time to stop or even pause for a while. She's blocking the aisle. I can't get around her, we sniff as we huff right on by. I'm sorry, she smiles. She looks up, but we're really too busy to chat. The wheel on her cart must be broken, we think, as she clunks her way through the store. Slow going, she knows. But when you get old, you don't have much speed anymore. A small tin of soup. She checks in, then stops to put it back on the shelf. Too much, way too much, she mutters and quietly sighs to herself. And one after one, a package, a box, inspected, rejected, then passed. One after one. Yesterday's buns, cans dented, cans broken, can't last. She checks every checkout, scanning each face, hoping to hopefully find the smile that might say, close enough, just go on. Oh, thank you, she'll say. You're so kind. But more often than not, she stands there in fear, struggling to keep her heart still, afraid as the items are scanned one by one that she won't have enough for the bill. Her friend waits outside to give her a ride to the high-rise she now calls home. It's been a good day, enough pennies to pay, enough food to get by all alone. She labels each can for a day of the week, printed neatly by desperate hands. Were you to ask why, she'd quietly reply, you really just don't understand. The drawer. The weirdest kid I ever saw was Stephen Reven Havershaw. He hated work and play and all, but oh how Stephen loved to draw. He drew big circles in the air, and here and there and everywhere was evidence from what we saw that drawing Stephen had been there. He drew on walls, and all through classes, Stephen drew big reading glasses on every face he saw in books, which gave them such peculiar looks. He drew mustaches onto kitties, on ants he made them itty-bitty, and every dog in Stephenstown was suddenly a two-tailed hound. Stephen drew things just for laughs, or so he said when he was asked. Nothing's quite as it should be until it's been improved by me. A squiggle here, a doodle there, my little pen goes everywhere and fixes up what's not quite right. No need to thank me, quite all right. We looked upon what Steve had drawn, and slowly it began to dawn upon the landscape far and near that Stephen's world looked mighty weird. The limbs of trees were full of mice, and grandmas all had 15 eyes. Ice cream cones were full of thread, and Washington had grown a head. And one day God, while on a job, looked down and saw what Steve had drawn. He saw his hills and glades and glens, besmudged by Stephen's drawing pen, his lovely wrens and meadowlarks, scribbled on with Stephen marks. "What's this?" he said. "Who made this mess?" We looked at Steve, and he confessed. "I guess that I was sort of moved and thought your work could be improved." "You thought," said God quite suddenly, "that you could fix the work of me?" "I guess I did," said Stephen quickly, but by now he looked quite sickly. And just this once, God skipped the grace, and Stephen found himself erased. God walking. So God went walking. He does that too. And he said to himself, "What did I do? I made this creation, white, yellow, brown, but they all live in different parts of my town. I put them together. That was my vision. No separation, so why the division? When I put 15 marbles on top of a hill, they roll down together, and then all of them spill, this way and that way, all different colors. So why do my children avoid one another? I plant different flowers in different locations. In springtime they bloom in such great variations. But people, these things that I blessed with a brain, insist that they bloom where they all look the same. The trees of the forest, the birds of the sky, the fishes and fauna and frogs all get by. So what's with these people, these things without feathers? Why can't they simply get it together?" God sighed a sigh and shook his old head. 2 butterflies passed him, one blue and one red. It's their choice, I suppose, and I won't insist. But oh, if only they knew what they'd missed. Jimmy Smee couldn't see. Jimmy Smee couldn't see but everyone all thought that he knew as much as anyone about the world he'd stumbled on. Since birth, he'd never seen a thing that other folks saw easily. He'd never seen the brown on cows or viewed the blue of passing clouds. He never knew what yellow meant. To us, it seemed quite evident. But Jimmy Smee, without his sight, knew things we didn't know. Like the song of snow, the squish of rain, the smell of friendship and of pain. The music that a leaf can weave when floating freely on the breeze. The taste of summer, soft and light. The tune the full moon croons at night. The swish a silvery fish can make when swimming quickly across a lake. The hum of worms, the chant of bees, the thumping hearts of frogs in trees. The quiet cries of crumpled grass. The sigh of times we let go past. The snap a breaking heart can make. The moan of risks we didn't take. The touch of someone else's tears. The joy that's in a puppy's ears. Jimmy wandered off one day. Where he went, I cannot say. Our parting was a happy time. He just moved on. We didn't mind. But as the years passed by, we thought about the things that Jim had taught. And it surprised us all to find that Jimmy saw while we were blind.
Only a real risk can test the reality of a belief. No Excuse by David Bowie. I write to you, poets and martyrs, disciples and daughters, elders and brothers, Christians and lovers, pastors and teachers and prophets and preachers. I write to you, leaders, that you might gather your weapons from your armories, grab your pulpits and mics, your stages and lights, your buildings and pews, your resources be used, for the wife is bruised. Her body is beaten and bludgeoned, for she's cheated on the man she once pursued. For the bride has now forgotten her husband. I write to you, for you have been summoned, that you might sacrifice your church services and functions, your evening worships and your luncheons. Bring your members by the dozen, no matter your shortcomings or dysfunctions. For you have been summoned to bear this insistence, that God wants to use every part of your existence, and none of you are any different. If your church is slowing or resurgent, older yet an infant, you are part of this resistance to stand your ground against the armies of apathy rising against us. I write to you, for I see Christians, but I don't see Christ. I see people living but not surrendering lives. I see tall buildings that cannot see strife. I see free salvation that is away underpriced. I see a body called to poverty, by wealth be enticed. And I know you see it too. Our allegiance has been spliced, unsatisfied with the riches of the world when God's kingdom should have sufficed. I write to you who are soon to be revolutionaries, to encourage you in this cause you will be influencing. I write to you to tell you that you have all that you need, and that's not another book, conference, facility, or degree. It's not a bigger budget, membership, network, or building. For Christ conquered death with only a tree, and if you have more than that, how much more will he want to see? For you see, you have all that you need, for you have breath, feet, blood, tears, pulse, hands, eyes, and ears. You have brothers and sisters, resources and givers, a world full of sin and a God that is bigger. You will need all you have, for you know the cost. The cause may cause you to toss away your money, your house, your cars, your clothes. The cause may cause you to lose all those. But what if it costs you your reputation, position, your job, and ambitions? Your identity, decision, your respect, your best intentions. You will need all you have, for you have all that you need, and all you need is all he has, for all you have is all he needs. With great urgency I write this news, for the one thing we do not have is an excuse. We have a mighty God who became poor and bruised. What we do not have is an excuse. We have the sure resurrection, the power of death diffused. What we do not have is an excuse. We have the words of life, the greatest of news. What we do not have is an excuse. We have the Holy Spirit inhabited for God's own use. What we do not have is an excuse. That is why I write to you this insisting instruments, that you might lead with great prudence in a world full of darkness. May we be a holy nuisance as we lead the cause of Christ through the power of his influence. Thank you.
Judges, audience ready? All right, is everybody? Ahem! All right, is everybody listening? Is everybody paying attention? Is everybody here? Andy, go check the caves, please. All right, so we got the fire, we got the berries. Bears? Andy! Don't wake the bears. You remember what happened last time, don't you? Yeah, go ahead and go. Okay, so, I have a couple of announcements I want to make, and then I'm going to be telling you guys about something new, something we haven't done before. I know you guys don't like new things, so I'm going to try to keep you from getting nervous. I remember last year when someone came up with the wheel, and everybody was freaking out going, oh no, we're all going to die. Oh no, this is the end. Oh no, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody pointed out that we didn't have any axles. And if we want to invent something really special, we're going to need axles first. Guess we're always going to have a couple of wise guys, aren't we? Anyways, we went ahead and made a couple hundred of those big stone wheels, which is kind of stupid now that you think about it. All you can really do is roll them down the hill, which isn't such a great idea. Been getting a lot of complaints from the people who live at the bottom of the hill. Sorry about the misses, Laszlo. Learning something new can be extremely frustrating, but even more frustrating can be presenting new ideas to people who really don't like new ideas. Take, for instance, a group of cavemen who are about to learn of the first human sacrifice. I mean, somebody had to tell them, right? Somebody important, but probably not too important. Somebody like a sergeant, but not too serious. Maybe more like The Primitive Sergeant by George Carlin. All right, first order of business. It has come to my attention that some people who are not children have been drawing on the walls of the caves. Listen, it may seem like fun to you, but it looks awful. A couple of thousand years from now, people are going to come here and they're going to study these caves. The last thing anybody is going to ever want to see is a bunch of drawings of horses on the walls. Okay? Next item. As some of you may have noticed, the fire went out last night. A couple of guards were jacking around, playing grab ass, and one of them, it was Octavio, the short guy with bushy hair. He was jacking around and, yes, what is it? Okay, Octavio, one of the short guys with bushy hair. Anyways, he was jacking around, he fell into the fire, and the fire went out. Unfortunately for Octavio, as you can tell, he's dead. Unfortunately for us, he was the only one who knew how to start a fire. So, we're going to have a contest. First person to start the fire and keep it going wins a prize. Next item. Yes, Dwayne? The prize is a hat. No, just a regular hat. Nope, there's nothing special, buddy. Just the kind with the ear laps, okay? Next item. As all of you should know, it is our practice that when we find a new plant that looks good to eat, we test it on the dogs to make sure it's not poison. How many of you remember the berries we tested on the big brown dog last week? Good, all of you. Now, how many of you ate those berries just because the dog didn't die that day? Oh. Well, I got some bad news. The dog died last night. Apparently with slow-acting poison. Yes, Dwayne? You did eat the dog. You didn't eat the berries. That's great. What? But you did eat the dog this morning. Well, Dwayne, you got about a week. Food chain, people. How many times do I got to tell you? Food chain. And for those of you getting into this new cannibalism crap, I'm not going to say any names. I would strongly suggest not eating Dwayne. Or anybody else for that matter. Next item. All right. Something we're going to have to deal with is the growing menace of the chewing of the leaves of the dream plant. First, it wasn't so bad, right? You get home from a long day of hunting or gathering, and you sit down and chew a couple leaves to relax, recreational chewing. No harm, no foul. But then some guys couldn't leave it alone. They chewed way too much and they lost control. And now we are getting reports of people chewing on the job, not only endangering the lives of their fellow co-hunters and co-gatherers, but also greatly decreasing the amount of food we collect. While at the same time, when we eat these leaves, it greatly increases the amount of food we consume. And now we're running into the biggest problem we can face. People are chewing leaves, and then they're running around at high speeds. How many times do I gotta tell you, people? Chewing leaves and running around at high speeds does not mix. You will crash. If you're going to chew leaves, don't run around. If you're going to run around, for God's sakes, don't chew leaves. Designate somebody, okay? So here's the deal. Know the signs of leaf abuse. If you're chewing in the morning, you got a problem. If you're chewing alone, you got a problem. Don't be ashamed. Get some help. And say no to leaves. All right. As I said earlier, we're going to be trying something new. Just hear me out, okay? Remember, this is going to help us with the corn. This is going to help us with the corn. This is all to appease the corn god. Hookah, hookah, hakana! Remember a couple years ago, we didn't have any corn, and a lot of people died because we were eating the trees instead? How many want to go back to that? All right, my point has been proven. Yes, Dwayne, what is it? You thought the trees were pretty good. You never disappoint me, Dwayne, you know that. As I was saying, so, to help with the corn and to appease the corn god, hookah, hookah, hakana, we're going to be doing this thing called a human sacrifice. What's a human sacrifice? Good question. Okay. So what that means is, once a week, we're going to take somebody, probably a young virgin, and we're going to throw them in the volcano. Oh, okay, people calm down. We aren't going to do it tonight. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. We're just taking a young virgin and we're just throwing them in a volcano. Speaking of volcano, how many of you remember the volcano? What words come to mind when you think of the volcano? What? Hot. The volcano is very hot. Yes, Dwayne, what is it now? No, Dwayne, that's not going to work. If this has any chance of working at all, we're going to have to do it while the volcano is actually erupting. I don't think the corn god is going to be impressed if we just throw some random person in a dormant volcano. I'm pretty sure he's looking for something with a little more screaming involved. Okay, so we are going to take a young virgin and we are going to throw them in a volcano. Yes, Morley, what do you want now? How does this help with the corn? Good question. Look, I just make the announcements, okay? This came down from the high priest, and that's all you gotta know. It's just gonna be custom. Yeah, it's gonna be custom. Oh, we know customs, don't we? Let's name off some customs. Nat. Going to bed at night. That's almost a custom. That's like a custom. Yes, Jules. Killing the animals before we eat them. That's a necessity. Jules, that's more of a necessity. Yeah, Jules, that's more of a necessity. Come on, people, name off custom. Wayne. Washing and drying out the rocks before you throw them at the enemy during a rock fight. Really? Is that what you've been doing, Dwayne? Well, that would explain the disproportionately high amount of rock-related injuries in your group, wouldn't it? Folks, you don't gotta look very far for a tragic example of abusing the dream plant, do ya? Maybe it's a good thing you ate that Well, people, that's all I gotta say. Thanks for listening. Just a couple more things. Remember, walk home slowly and walk home safely. If you guys didn't notice, the fire's out. The sun has gone down, and it's completely freaking dark.
Dual interpretation combines elements from poetry, humor, and drama in one performance by two people.
It's great. When it comes to duo, you never know if it's going to be something that's going to make you laugh, it's going to be something that makes you cry, it's going to do both. We have a bit of both here tonight. And the first piece that we're going to be listening to...
No, you go.
It's called Tape.
By Kel Dubois and Ben Mecklejohn.
It's dark in here.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
I'm afraid those lights,
Suppose it doesn't matter now.
not very bright.
Who cares, really?
We don't want to cause you any undue suffering. If it's too dark in here for you, I can ask one of the other attendants to replace the light bulb.
Any undue suffering?
That's right.
Is this where I'll be?
That's right.
Will you be outside?
Yes.
The entire time?
The entire time.
Life after death. What's all the commotion about? As humans, we like to believe there's some sort of justice in the afterlife, you know, like glory to the righteous and damnation to the sinners. But what exactly does that damnation entail?
Dun, dun, dun!
This is serious.
Oh. Tape by Jose Rivera.
Is it boring?
I'm sorry?
Is it boring, you know, waiting outside the entire time?
It's my job. It's what I do.
I guess. Will I get anything to eat or drink?
We're not really set up for that. We don't have what you call a kitchen. We can send out for things. Little things. Cold food.
I understand.
Soft drinks.
Beer?
I'm afraid not.
Not even for special occasions like my birthday?
I guess maybe on your birthday.
Great. Thanks.
Do you have any more questions before we begin? Because if you do, that's okay. It's okay to ask as many questions as you'd like. I'm sure you're very curious. I'm sure you'd like to know as much as possible so you can figure out how it all fits together and what it all means. So feel free to ask. That's why I'm here. Don't worry about the time. We have a lot of time.
I don't have any questions.
Are you sure?
There's not much I really need to know, is there?
No, I suppose not.
I'm sorry. I appreciate it. I do.
Sit.
I prefer to stand.
Are you comfortable?
Does it matter? Does it really matter?
No, I guess not.
I'm sorry. What's your name anyway? Do you even have a name?
Not really. It's not allowed.
And not allowed, who says?
The rules say.
Have you ever actually seen these rules? Are they in writing?
Oh, yes. There's a very long and extensive training course.
Really?
Yes, it's quite rigorous.
Imagine that.
You have to be a little bit of everything. Confidant, confessor, friend, stern taskmaker, guide.
Sounds like it'd take a lot of time.
My teachers were all quite strong and capable. They really pushed me. I was grateful. I knew I'd been chosen for something unique and exciting. Something significant. I didn't mind the hard work or sleepless nights.
You sleep?
When I can.
Do you dream?
No, that's not allowed.
I'm sorry.
No, it's something you get used to.
I know I went years and years without being able to remember a single dream I had. Used to really scare the crap out of me when I was
I know.
little and... Excuse me?
I said I know. I know that story. From when you were 10?
Yes, you would. I know every little story.
It's part of the training.
I figured.
Have you ever operated a reel-to-reel tape recorder before?
No.
It's not hard.
These things were pretty obsolete by the time I got around to them. I got them cassettes and later CDs, but never one of these old jobbies.
It's not hard. On here, off here. Play, pause, rewind.
Rewind?
In some cases, the quality of the recording is so poor you'll want to rewind it until you can understand.
No, no fast forward?
No.
This looks sturdy.
They get a lot of use.
I bet. Is this the only tape?
No,
Didn't think so.
there are many more.
How many? A lot?
There are 10,000 boxes.
10,000 boxes? Did I really lie that much?
I'm afraid you did.
So everyone goes into a room just like this?
Exactly like this. There's no differentiation. Everyone's equal.
For once.
What isn't equal, of course, is the amount of time that you have to spend here. Listen. Listening just to yourself, to your own voice.
I know.
Listening to every lie you ever told while you were alive.
Oh, God.
Listening to every nasty thought you ever had, every deceit. Every time you lied to yourself, deep in your mind, we were there. We were listening and we were recording. And it's all here in these boxes. 10,000 of them, in your own words. One lie after the next, over and over until we're finished. So the amount of time varies. The amount of time that we have to spend here going through these boxes together.
I'm sorry.
Too late.
I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. I said it a million times. Whatever happened to forgiveness? I don't want to be here. I don't want to listen. I don't mean the things I said. Whatever happened to forgiveness? I don't want to be here.
Yes, well, neither did we. Neither did we. Where the hell have you been? Jesus Christ, I went to the school, I went to the pharmacy,
sorry.
I even called the police. Where have you been?
I'm sorry.
I've been looking all over for you. Jesus Christ, look at me, I'm shaking. Look me in the eye. Now look at me and tell me where the hell you were. Tell me right now.
Hi, I'm Harvey Kessel. No. Hi, I'm Harvey Kessel. No. Hi, I'm Harvey. No. Hi, I'm. Hi!
Hi! Intro to Spanish, right?
See,
Well, where is everybody? I thought I was late.
you know, I didn't even notice that. I just got here. I wonder where everybody is.
Yeah, we got the right date?
February 2nd.
Well, this is ridiculous. There's a lady up in the office. I'll go check.
Hold on, let me check something.
I just checked the schedule.
This isn't the schedule. This is something else. I got that too, though. Just, here we go. Oh, shoot! This says class has been rescheduled to Saturday the 13th.
What?
I should have read this.
Let me see that. God damn it! Why is everything picking to happen now? This is the most stupid, disorganized bunch I've ever had to deal with in my life.
Well, you know, some things are bound to, like, fall through the cracks occasionally.
No, they don't need an occasion to mess up in Brooklyn. They need a business day.
Some crimes are worse than others. Most people would say that stealing a candy bar from the store isn't as bad as robbing a bank. A majority of people would say that murdering somebody is way worse than robbing a bank. But stealing somebody's mail, that's not so bad, right?
Meet Harvey, a painfully shy young man who falls in love at first sight with...
Laura, a feisty young woman. He's dying to ask her out, but he doesn't know what to say, and then he doesn't know how to say it, and then he doesn't want to bother her, and they just plain chickens out.
Until one day, while delivering Laura's mail, he sees that her class has been canceled. So someone decides not to give it to her, knowing that he and she will be the only ones to attend the class.
It all goes to show you.
You Can't Trust Mail by Brandy Nugent.
Well, you know, during this time of year and all with all the parcels and Christmas cards, it's just a mess.
That's exactly why they should call us. Everyone knows you can't trust the mail.
You can't too trust the mail. Yeah, you're right.
What, was your dad a mailman or something?
No, he wasn't.
Hold it.
He was a mechanic, actually.
I thought I've seen you before.
I doubt it.
You're my mailman!
Okay, no.
All that stuff I said about you, I wasn't meaning it. Like towards the, it was probably the post office, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I guess maybe I am your mailman. But yeah, I know you weren't talking about me. It was kind of funny. Ha! But I guess maybe I am your mailman. It's so nice to meet you. I'm Harvey Kessel.
Laura Spivey.
So we're taking the same Spanish class, huh?
Yeah, weird, huh?
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, why are you taking the class?
I'm going to Mexico at the end of February.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I just love the sound of their language, but Now that I know you're my mailman and all, if you don't mind me asking, if you could put the mail underneath the grating door, that would be great.
Yeah, that's fine. I can totally do that for you.
Thanks. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I can do that. But if you don't mind me asking, why?
I think someone can get into my mail.
Why would you say that?
Because the letter's all wrinkly and then the envelope has little bits and tears in it. But if it's no big deal, that'd be great.
Yeah, I can totally do that for you. That'd be fine. Well, since I got you here now, maybe, well, since class is canceled now, and the night's still young, and it's Friday, I don't got anything on it. Maybe if you don't got anything on it, maybe that... You gotta be somewhere.
Yeah, I have to, meet my boyfriend out of town in a minute. You know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna...
Have a good night.
That was a pretty bad lie, wasn't it?
It was an okay one.
Oh, please, I have a 2-hour class and all of a sudden I have to go meet my boyfriend out of town in a minute? Bad lie.
We say whatever, it's fine.
Just to set the record straight, I don't have to be anyone. I definitely do not have a boyfriend. I'm just a mess.
What's wrong?
I recently discovered I almost moved in with a lying jerk from hell.
You look super tired. Have you been getting a lot of sleep?
Actually, I haven't been. My mind keeps playing this movie starring this hot guy and then a whole bunch of girls that are just way prettier than me.
Nobody's prettier than you.
Oh, please, I'm around.
Well, you know what they say, the only way out of a bad situation is through it, and you'll be a better person afterwards. And if I had to give you a piece of advice, never, ever, in any circumstance, keep a Dear John letter. You should burn it. How long were you two together?
2 years.
Oh, 2 years. I mean, wasn't that long.
Wait a minute. How'd you know I had a Dear John letter?
I didn't. I was talking about my Dear John letter, and that I burned it, and that's what you should do too. Yeah.
Plus, you're my mailman, and you got a thing in the mail today that said we didn't have class. But I didn't get one. Have you been—
No, I haven't been reading through your mail. That's crazy. That's a federal crime. I could get thrown in prison for that. I was just trying to talk to you.
Really?
You're just paranoid. That's what it
I
is.
know, that's why you gotta tell me if I finally gone crazy, if I finally lost my mind. Just tell me, please. I won't be mad.
Well, if you won't be mad. Yeah, I kind of read through your mail.
I knew it!
But I can explain.
Stay away from me.
I just couldn't ask out the girl like everybody else seems to be able to do.
What?
You see, I just think you're so beautiful, and when I got you up, I really wanted to talk to you, but I didn't know what to say, and then I didn't know how to say it, and I didn't want to bother you, and then I got that fever blister, so I just thought maybe I'd join the class instead, and all I did was read through your mail. It's not that personal, really.
Yeah, it is!
Okay, but then you started getting the airmails from Alan, and at first I thought he was just a friend, but then he drew the little hearts in the corner that one time.
I don't know this.
So I was just going to take the class and forget the entire thing. But, you know, I started thinking, what kind of letters would he write you?
You read my Dear John letter!
Yes, but calm down. I knew you would be sad, so I thought maybe I could join the class, have a lot of energy, and like make it a fun time, you know, because fun people can make things better. I don't know. It was wrong. Everything I do is wrong, and I didn't want to add to your troubles. And if turning me down will make anything better, I think that's what we should do.
You wanted to date?
Don't worry about me.
Trust me, I ain't worried about you.
I invaded your privacy, and there's no excuse for that.
There's excuses.
You have every right to be furious with me. You shouldn't hold
Will you
that
shut up
against
about it? I can't turn you in, okay?
me. I don't understand.
All right, look. Alan's a SEAL in the Navy, so sometimes he goes on these special maneuvers or whatever. At least that's what he's been telling me. I'm like morons been lapping it up for the past 2 years. I don't even know what's the truth anymore. But anyways, I wrote him a love letter telling him how much I love him and can't wait to see him, and I'm expecting one back. But I don't get it, so I figured maybe it got sent to his place.
Why would it be sent to his place?
I was gonna move in with him next month, so I filled out one of those change of address things, and I figured maybe they started early.
Laura, listen, us at the mail would not make that kind of mistake. Continue.
Anyways, so I go to his house, look through his mail, but it's not in there. But guess what it was? Some love letter from a girl named Brenda. Oh, I was so mad. Oh, I wrote this. so proud of myself. Didn't want to talk it out, didn't even want to fight about it. But I got his day job before I can send him mine.
I'm sorry. Is there anything I can do?
No, nobody can do anything.
I'm sorry.
Oh, here. Take these.
What are these?
They're good shoes.
Wait, why do you have good shoes in your bag?
I was gonna throw them into the river after class, but if you want them, you can keep them.
Can I try them on? Oh, these are a perfect fit. I really like these too. These are so nice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You know what I don't understand though? Why? Oh. These are Alan's shoes, aren't they?
They were gonna be, but not anymore.
Oh, these are Alan's. I can't take these.
No, please, if you like them, keep them.
Well, what if you two get back together?
I wouldn't worry about that. Besides, they looked good on you.
Well, before you start giving all this stuff away, you should read this. This came in today.
You know, if I were you, I would wonder if I shouldn't be a mailman. This came in today.
Came and went.
What did you use on it, Steve?
There's an exhaust vent on your corner by the laundromat. I didn't want you to know it. It doesn't really matter. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my gosh, Harvey! Oh my gosh! A miracle just happened. He wants me back. Can you do me a big favor?
Yeah, you want the shoes back. It's fine.
No. I want you to send this back to sender from address unknown.
You know, it's taking about all I can to keep from kissing you right now.
Mr. Alexander, there's a girl on line 1. She says it's urgent.
Thank you. Campbell Alexander, attorney of law. What can I do for you?
Is it true that you sued God?
Well, I simply sued a religious school on behalf of a teacher who was turned down because they weren't religious. But that just sounds better in the headlines. What can I do for you?
Well, my sister has leukemia.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Listen, kid, you can't actually sue God. It's not how this works.
My name is Amy Fitzgerald. You probably heard about me from a few years ago.
Sister born to save another. I read the headline, but that's all. Listen, Anna. I'm a very busy man, and I don't really have time
I
for
want to sue my parents for the right to my own body.
If you've ever had a sister, then you understand that that other person becomes your absolute best friend.
Someone you can spill all of your secrets to.
someone who accepts you for all that you are.
Someone you can scream with when your favorite celebrity crush comes on television.
Someone who will always love you.
Of course. Sisters fight. She hit me in the head with a shovel once.
You almost broke my nose.
And that's comparable to cracking my head open.
Anyways, no matter how much we fight, we'll always love each other more than anyone else could ever understand.
And we'd sacrifice anything for one another.
Just like Anna and her leukemic older sister Kate.
Sisters.
Forever. My Sister's Keeper
By
by
Jodi
Jodi Picoult.
I'm going to call home.
I'm allowed to take a break, you know. No one has to be a martyr 24/7, Anna.
I think when you sign up to be Fitzgerald, that's the only shift they offer.
Listen to yourself, Anna. You're being such a drama queen.
Kate, you have no idea what my life is like.
Neither do you. You're not living. You're waiting for me to die.
I am not. Kate, I don't want you to die.
I'm not gonna die any faster because you go to the movies or the mall or crack a really bad joke. So sit down and start acting like a normal person. Let's forget about the lawsuits and the trials and just have fun. I can tell you a knock-knock joke if you want.
A knock-knock joke? Really? Kate, not now. I mean, are you afraid? Mom's been getting on me a lot at home about the lawsuit. Her and Dad are fighting. I just don't know if we're gonna make it. Their marriage, I mean. Kate, are you even listening?
You know, we could get on the Today Show. They had that kid once who could play the piano with his feet. Mom knew someone who got killed by a piano being pushed out a window.
That's not true. Why would anyone push a piano out a window?
It is true. You ask her. What do you think is the best way to die?
Kate, I don't want to talk about this.
Why? Everyone's dying. I'm dying. You're dying.
What?
Well, you are. I just happen to be more gifted at it than you are.
This is a stupid conversation.
You know, there's always an airplane crash.
Kate, I don't want to talk about
And
this.
then there's sleeping through, but that's just kind of boring.
Stop it! Normal people don't sit around and think about dying.
Liar. Everyone thinks about dying.
Everyone thinks about you dying. Kate, I didn't mean that.
At least now you're telling the truth. I have it all figured out. It should work out wonderfully. It doesn't really matter that your mother decided to appeal. I've made sure the judge won't back this case down.
I don't want to go on the stand.
What are you talking about? You have to. You're the biggest asset I have for this case. Listen, Anna. I know your mother seems intimidating. Heaven knows I never expected her to use her law degree against us. Heck, I didn't even know your mother had a law degree, but regardless, she's 10 years out of practice. There's nothing to worry about.
No, there is something to worry about. She's my mom. She's been able to get me to tell secrets ever since I was little. She just knows me too well.
What are you so afraid of? You have nothing to hide, right? Anna, if you're hiding something, you could ruin this entire case. It will be a complete waste of my time. Trust me, sibling rival cases never go far in court. My father tried to push one through once and we nearly lost everything.
Kate and I are Siamese twins. Just can't see the part where we're connected. It just makes separation all the more difficult. Mom,
Yes, Anna.
do you hate me?
What? No, Anna.
And do you love me?
Listen, I'm very frustrated with what you're doing. And I know I don't give you as much attention as you deserve, but hear me out. You are my daughter. There's nothing you could ever do or say that would make me love you less. I'm not a perfect person, but I am doing the best with what I have. Not when you're winning, you know?
I'm sure if one woman had your job, she would probably fail. You seem pretty wonderful to all of us, Mom. It's me included.
And when your father and I were talking, we just wanted to know why. What have we ever done that would make you feel like doing this to us?
It's not what you've done.
It's what we haven't done.
No, you're not listening. I love Kate. I love her more than you could ever imagine.
Then why did you file the petition? If you love your sister, why?
I was asked. I was convinced by somebody.
Anna, who asked you? Who convinced you?
Kate! Kate asked me to file a lawsuit. She asked me to kill her. I know she doesn't want to live like this any longer. And I am the only one who can do anything about it. Came up after you left our room to go talk about donating a kidney. She told me not to do it, but of course I'm going to do it. And then she said she was ready to.
Maybe you misunderstood. Maybe she was just being overdramatic because if Kate was that upset, she would have told me.
She couldn't. Yes, if Kate was dying. If Kate died, she'd be killing you too.
Mrs. Fitzgerald, I'm Anna's lawyer and I was just coming to speak with her about the trial tomorrow. You said Kate told you she was ready. What if Kate wants to die so that you can live? What if after all these years of you saving Kate, she's just trying to do the same for you?
Right after I filed the lawsuit, Kate had gotten very quiet. So quiet. Thought she might have fallen asleep. Then she turned to me. all the world in her eyes, and a smile that crumbled like a fault line, and said thanks. Kate, I'm so sorry. I tried.
Anna, I love you. I loved you long before I saw you. And I will love you long after I'm not here to say that. I know that because I'm older, I'm supposed to have all the answers. But I don't. Listen, I know I'm sick. You were the goodness that came out of the leukemia. You were born because of me, and I want you to live because of me.
Kate, don't go now. Please. Visibility sucks. The rain, if possible, is coming down harder than ever. I have this brief vision of it pummeling the car so hard, it crunches like an empty Coke can. And then all of a sudden, it's harder to breathe. The loss is more intimidating than ever. Think of Kate.
There's a girl stuck in the vehicle! Get her out! Get her out!
Oh God. It's Anna. I feel like the heart stops beating for a long. Tiny loss of rhythm. Hollow color. That other loss.
I have power of attorney over Anna. And there's a girl upstairs who really needs that kidney.
Hey, Gil!
Hey, Lenny, hey.
Hey! What a surprise, huh? What a coincidence.
Yeah, man, how you doing?
Me? I'm good. I'm all right. Not so good. I'm suicidal. I'm suicidal, Gil. But I'm good.
Yeah, I heard about you and Cindy. We should have called.
No. I mean, I should have called you guys. I've just been so preoccupied with death and all. How's Allison?
Oh, Allison? Oh, she is great. She should actually be meeting us here in a little bit.
Allison's coming here?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is amazing. This is fantastic. This is incredible, really.
You haven't been getting out much, have you, Lenny?
It's hopeless, Gil. I'm miserable. A wreck. All alone during allergy season with my gums all big and bleeding.
Can I join you?
Hey, come on. I mean, you don't know how lucky you are to have a woman like Allison. Oh, darling, beautiful Al.
I think we're breaking up.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Lenny! You ever have one of those friends that just hangs on longer than he should?
No. You ever had a friend be jealous of your relationship?
I don't even remember about the time I was madly in love with your fiancé.
This is a story about Gil and Lenny, two friends with very different problems, but all those problems seem to be...
All About Al by Sherry Vogelstein.
I mean, I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I mean, you and Allison and you're like Romeo and Juliet.
I'm just telling you right now because it might not be such a good idea for you to be here.
Why, Gil? Be very quiet.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's a cafe deal and I'm hoping she'll keep the crying down to a minimum. I'll tell you, Lenny, it ain't easy breaking a girl's heart, you know?
No, I don't know. I've dreamt of it, though.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'd really... Yes. No offense, Lenny. No offense, but you make a really ugly girl. Was there something you wanted to say to me? No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Allison, I have something to tell you.
I love you, Gilly.
I love you too. We have to break up.
Because I have a brain tumor.
You do?
No. Stupid. I'm not good enough for you, Allison. I think you deserve better. I do deserve better. But I don't want better. I want you all moronic and greasy. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think I can live up to this image you have of me. I mean, sure, we're okay today. We might be okay tomorrow, but I'm scared I'm gonna wake up, look in your eyes, and instead of the love, I'm gonna see something else. I'm gonna see the hate. I'm gonna see all the respect drained out of you, and Allison, I just don't think I can take that.
Is that true?
No. I mean, you can't tell her the real stuff, man. I mean, it's not even that big of a deal. It's just it's a little thing that happens when we're lying in bed. I'll be getting all comfortable, and all of a sudden I feel this big leg plop over right on top of me.
Is it her leg?
Yeah, it's her leg. That's not the point. The point is I don't need some weight pinning me down to the mattress.
Cindy bought bunk beds when I moved in.
I just don't like to be touched.
Cindy said all touching should be kept to an absolute minimum.
Cindy did you the biggest favor in the world when she dumped you.
I know. That's the one favor women always want to do for me. That's why I'm telling you, Gil, it's lonely in New York and Allison is special.
I know she's special, but it's not just the leg thing, Lenny.
Is it like a leg/arm thing?
No! It's like the way she's so obsessed with her weight all the time. I mean, I'll go and pick her up, and the first thing she says when I see her is, "Hey, Gil, do I look like I've gained weight?"
So?
So I'll say, "No, you look perfect," and she'll say,
No, you're lying.
"Why would I lie?"
To make me feel good?
I would never do that, Allison.
Yes, I see it in your eyes!
That's not a lie, Allison. That's my contact lens. You haven't getting an ounce since the day you were born.
Really? Yeah, really. You tell me if I did.
Of course.
Promise you tell me?
Promise I'll tell you.
Promise you promise?
I promise, I swear. Now put a stake through my head, Lenny, because I can't take it anymore. It drives me nuts. I mean, why can't you just invest in a scale or something? Why it's gotta be such a big mystery all the time? To me, she looks perfect, so what's the problem?
Well, maybe she's afraid that if she got fat, that you dump her.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would, but that doesn't mean you gotta dwell on it all the time. I mean, every guy wants his girlfriend to have a nice figure.
Cindy gained 60 pounds while we were together.
I know, man, how'd you deal with that?
I loved her for what was on the inside.
Deep inside.
Look, a good woman is hard to find.
Cindy is not hard to find. I wonder why Allison's so late.
Cindy would always be like,
Cindy, can't you just get over Cindy? Just get over her.
Get over her?
What you need is somebody nice, somebody smart, someone who gives you support, someone who really likes you.
They have that!
Of course they do. All you gotta do is give yourself a break, that's all, man. Just go for it, go for it.
Hey, Gil.
Yeah.
When Allison gets...
Uh-huh.
When Allison gets...
You just finished the sentence.
When Allison gets here... Have her?
What?
Oh, no. Not like have her. Have her is a silly expression. Like, ask her out on a date. Would you mind?
Would I mind? If you asked Allison out on a date, my Allison Kramer?
It's a problem.
No, it's not a problem.
Then I won't.
I said it's not a problem. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Gilly.
Man, don't call me Gilly. But you know, what about Cindy?
What about Cindy? You told me to forget her.
That's it. I say forget about her. You just forget about her just like that?
Well, I thought you gave me an excellent piece of advice, Gil. I'm just trying to follow up on it is all.
Yeah, but you and Allison and you, it's just like, your body's still warm, Lenny.
Yeah, in a way, isn't that better? I mean, that way she won't have any time to mourn the loss of you, because I'll be right there to console her.
Well, I want you to console her.
Well,
Why not? You want to see her suffer?
No, but even more, I don't want to see her with you.
Very fair. You said you didn't want
I never
her.
said I didn't want her, Lenny.
You said you were breaking up.
Said I was thinking about breaking up with her. That the little dancing thought had walked my mind. I didn't realize they gave you the opportunity to so whoop in like some galosh wearing vulture.
That's not a very flattering characterization, Gil. You told me to go for it.
It, not her, stupid.
Well, why not her? Why not Allison, huh?
Because, just because.
Oh, because what? Look, all my life, I've watched the Leonards of this world lose the Allisons of this world to the Gills of this world, and the Gills don't even care! I'm sick of it! It's men like you who ruin women for the rest of us, abusing them and demeaning them till they've so totally lost their sense of self, they think the real men are the ones that treat them that way. No, you're not real at all, are you? No, you're just scared. You're scared of yourself, scared of rejection, scared that one day you're gonna look in Allison's eyes and see the hate. Because you're scared that once she realizes who Gilly really is, she's gonna realize there's nothing to see!
Yeah, well.
Shut up, man. I think I've offended you, Gil. I'm sorry.
No, who needs your sorry? Not me. Allison is a prize, a gift, and she loves me, and that's a very scary thing. I mean, who wants to deal with disappointing a woman like that anyway? I mean, we're not talking about some whale beast like Cindy. We're talking Allison Kramer here, and you know what? Deep down, everyone's scared of rejection, Lenny. Everyone.
Well, I'm not.
That's just because you're so used to it.
Damn straight I am. Take a look at a real man, Gil. A man who's not afraid of rejection or commitment or intimacy or the dark. Ah! Okay, I'm a little afraid of the dark, but I'm not afraid of love. Love I embrace unguarded, and I love Allison. I want her, Gil.
Yeah? Well, so do I.
Thank you so much. Everybody on this team works super hard, and we're super grateful to get the chance to show you guys the fruits of our labor.
So, just remember, drive home slowly, drive home safely. If you didn't notice, the sun's down, we don't have a fire, and it's completely freaking dark.